Throughout the 2020 U.S. presidential campaign, Biden asserted that under his leadership, the United States would be back at the head of the table. Joe Biden is a well-known name in foreign policy in many ways. He supports democratic governance, the liberal, international order, treaties, alliances, and action on climate change. He worked with other countries to combat COVID-19 and quickly rejoined the Paris Agreement on climate change, and also attempt to revive Iran nuclear deal. Now, the question is Joe Biden's approach to foreign policy a restoration or reorientation? With his favorite campaign slogan, America is back, President Joe Biden entered office with an ambitious foreign policy agenda for the United States of America. Above all, that meant undoing the harm done to America's reputation abroad by his predecessor, former President Donald Trump. Let us now look at some of the things Joe Biden accomplished in terms of international relations. President Biden held his first meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to coordinate regional issues, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken virtually visited Mexico and Canada in his early days in office. Biden and Trudeau highlighted mutual policy priorities around climate change and China. They vowed to align climate goals to achieve net zero emission by 2050. And Mr. Biden said the US would help Canada secure the release of 2 Canadians held by Beijing, saying they were not bartering chips. The Biden team sent early supportive signals to Taiwan and Hong Kong by sending an unofficial delegation to Taiwan as a personal signal of support, and certifying that Hong Kong is no longer autonomous under the United States Hong Kong Policy Act. Putting climate change at the center of President Biden's domestic and foreign policy approaches by committing that the United States of America will achieve net zero emissions by 2050. Rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement and other international climate action efforts. President Joe Biden has honored one of his highly anticipated campaign promises. The United States of America has officially rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement. No issue has been more controversial or widely discussed than how the United States should approach China. The 3-hour meeting between American and Chinese officials was as encouraging. The meeting between President Joe Biden and President Xi Jinping was significant. President Biden says they had a quote open and candid conversation about their intentions and priorities to work together to solve global challenges. President Joe Biden said there need not be a new Cold War between the US and China. The two leaders reached important common understandings, and they were prepared now to take concrete actions to put China-US relations back on the track of steady development. Biden administration commit $10 billion to fight COVID vaccine inequities. Biden re-engaged with World Health Organization and joined global vaccine effort. Re-engaging with key multilateral health initiatives such as Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and COVID-19 vaccines global access. The foreign policy of the Joe Biden administration emphasizes repairing the U.S. alliances, which Biden says had been damaged under the Trump administration, and returning the U.S. to a position of trusted leadership. Through Joe Biden's foreign policy plan, America will once again lead by example and restoring dignity at home and respect on the world stage.